get started. My name is Mark Wells. I'm the principal here at John Hardin High School. Welcome. We are glad to have you here today. We have more exciting news from our agriculture department. We've got a great high school, and what I like about it is the leadership I see from a lot of our teachers, and especially in our clubs and organizations. And our ag teacher, Jeremy Hall, is a great example of that. He's done some wonderful things for our students and given them more opportunities to carry out leadership for themselves and continue learning through this process. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy to tell you more about our exciting news today.
Thank you, Coach Wells. My name is Jeremy Hall. I'm the agriculture education teacher and FFA advisor here at John Hardin. And first off, I want to thank, we've got a lot of partners that are here today with us that have made this project come to fruition. So a lot of people to thank, so just bear with me on that. But I want to thank Coach Wells, Ms. Morgan, our superintendent, our principal. Without their support for our program and the encouragement from them to push our students in a really good direction, in a positive direction, none of this would be possible. So I want to thank them. Susan Ryan, who can't be here today, she is actually our district grant writer, and she was the one that put countless hours into writing this proposal up, taking the ideas that my students and myself had and putting it in words so that I had the best chance of getting this grant. The United States Department of Ag, this is a wonderful opportunity for this grant, the Farm to School grant, so I want to thank them. Mr. Ben Smith, who's back here from ECTC, he and I have worked on several little projects together, and his help with the curriculum side of this project is going to be instrumental, so I want to thank them. Kit Collins and Fork Farms, they are partners with us in the school-based enterprise part of this project, and we'll talk a little more and actually have a statement from them that I'll read for you. Dakota Rothermel, who is over here, is a John Hardin alumni, an ag department alumni, and his company Ground Pros is going to play a big role in this project as well. We have our friends from Altech, actually Aaron Northcutt over here. Their engineers are helping us with the educational outreach portion of this project. Darren Morris, who is our cafeteria manager here at John, who's probably one of the first people when we started this idea that we sat down with and really was our first cheerleader with all this. So I want to thank him. And then last but not least, Josie Cruz, our nutritional director here at Hardin County Schools, who is going to be purchasing all of our lettuce and has, again, been a big supporter for us. But I think if this project does anything, it shows a perfect example of the power of community partnerships. Not only just from the learning aspect of it, but having a positive influence with student achievement in leadership, in employability skills, and the academic side of things. And this project will be able to do all of that. In a nutshell, the project will be implemented over 2 years. It is the culmination of a lot bigger project that started in the summer of the fall of 2018, yes. With our Aqua Food STEM project. And so what this project will do is it's 3 components. The curriculum side of it, we will be working with Ben, ECTC, and this will go in probably the second year, hopefully. We're looking at a dual credit opportunity perhaps for our students, and they will take this individual class their senior year as a capstone to the horticulture and the agribusiness pathways. They will be involved in all of the aspects of marketing, curriculum, the science, the biology, everything that goes into producing a healthy harvest of food for our students. The second component is a school-based enterprise. We are partnering with Fork Farms out of Wisconsin. They have the most premier, up-to-date, technologically advanced hydroponic systems in the nation. And we are going to have 5 of their systems added to our already existing aquaponics program. And I will read a quick statement they wanted me to share with you. Through our partnership with John Hardin High School's FFA program, students will be inspired to grow their own food, feed the community around them, and positively impact the planet. We know from research that when someone grows their food, their positive perceptions of fresh food increase. This will result in long-lasting health outcomes for those students on top of practical agricultural and science education. we're grateful to be part of the impact being made at John Hardin to benefit these students in their career paths and personal development. And that's from the founder and president of Fort Farms, Alex Tinnick. The lettuce we will produce will go from John Hardin to our cafeteria and to the cafeteria at Bluegrass Middle School and at New Highland Elementary School, all the schools on this campus. We will be able to produce about 145 pounds of lettuce every 4 weeks to provide any excess that we have that isn't used. Will go to our local food banks to donate those in need, along with what we already have in place with our tilapia production. And the third and final component of this grant is the educational outreach. With our partnership with Altech and Ground Pros, we are going to use a 7x16 enclosed cargo trailer, and we're going to equip it with a modern hydroponic unit and take this trailer to do educational outreach of hydroponic STEM principles at various elementary schools, festivals, and really anybody in the community that would like to have that type of outreach to show. Again, that will be in year 2 of the project, and this will be totally done by our students, our senior capstone students here at John Hardin High School. The grant total was close to $45,000 to do this, and like I said, it's a extension of what we already got going with our aqua food program. It's a wonderful opportunity for students. It's a wonderful opportunity for our community. And we hope that here in the next couple of years, everybody will get a chance to experience that, and we'll be able to see what we got going on here. So.
How much of this new stuff do we have already? Still waiting on the cargo trailer, the new hydroponics?
We just started to order all that. We have an established STEM lab where we have about 20 different hydroponic systems and aquaponic systems that we have currently. These new systems, we'll start purchasing these actually this month and start putting them into play within the next couple of months.
How long until you got what you need? Is up and running?
2 years. Yeah, it'll be a 2 year. One of the things with hydroponics and especially with a curriculum project like this, we don't want to rush into it. We want to make sure all of our standards line up. We want to make sure all of our partners are getting what they need out of it as well as our students. So even though we're excited, we don't want to rush things either. We want to make sure we get it right the first time.
How big of a draw would this be for students to come?
I think it's a big draw. We've already seen a huge increase of our numbers with our current system as is. We've really upped our classes, and we see this big increase in STEM in our community in the state of Kentucky. If you've seen, we've got App Harvest, Kentucky Fresh Harvest, who is locating huge 40, 60 acre greenhouses that are all hydroponically ran in our state. So the demand in our state is going to be there as well. So I want our students to be at the forefront of that kind of technology so they can go out and get successful careers in it.
How many other programs in the state are like this pretty unique to you guys, or is this something that's going on?
There's programs that have small hydroponic systems to use like in units. To my knowledge, none to the scope that we do.
Students, you want to say that?
Go ahead.
My name is Braden Hall. I am the chapter president here at John Hardin, and I'm also our Lincoln Trail regional president. And on behalf of the John Hardin FFA chapter and, just FFA in general, this is such an amazing thing. We are so glad to have this in our school, and just the great relationship that Hardin County Schools provides us. Miss Morgan, our superintendent, and Coach Wells really pushing everything to make sure this can happen. They do not, any opportunity that we are given, sometimes they even ask us to do it before we even know it, because they get the firsthand, emails or anything. And so it's really cool that we have that support from our school district and our principal and administration here at John as well. I was here when we first started this. I was one of the freshman crew, I would say, to really get this thing up and running, and I cannot be so happy of where it's come now. And as a senior at John, being able to leave this year and seeing all this new stuff come in, and hopefully to see at the end of the year where we are, I think it will be a really great thing for our community, our students, and especially with our FFA motto, or part of it, living to serve. That is what we're doing here. We are living to serve, not only just, for us and helping us be better leaders and to going into this unknown territory and really accomplishing things that are just out of the ballpark for just some of even freshmen, from just high schoolers in general to be doing. I think it is an amazing thing, but also to serve our community, to serve, Warm Blessings or some of the soup kitchens that we are partnering with, and also, representing Hardin County schools and knowing that this district has amazing people in it, and that is what we're all about here at Hardin County Schools. We never take an opportunity for granted. We always go out and we always try with 100%.
Hi, I'm Catherine Updegraff. I'm a junior this year, so I came in about a year after this program had started, and it's really changed my life and a lot of people's lives. And I think as it goes from new freshmen that will be here in 20 years, I think this grant will help them tremendously, and it will just be a part of the community and help them in many ways. And we want to thank our partners again. Miss Morgan, who's over there, she has helped us with a lot, and Coach Wells has helped us with a lot. So we are just completely grateful for everything that they do, and the help to continue to grow. Thank you.
This is our superintendent's truce.
I think we're just going to clone them to do our speeches from here on out. This is pretty awesome. But just thanks for this awesome opportunity. If you follow Mr. Hall on Twitter, it is just a pleasure to see what he is having the students to do on a daily basis. The leadership skills they are learning, public speaking skills, realizing that they are part of something bigger than just John Hardin, but they are part of a community, part of a county, and part of a state, and part of an incredible nation. That's what's happening here at John Hardin. It may seem small to have lettuce, but think of all the skills that is going into this, and what we are providing for our community is quite amazing. So to Coach Wells, who always is very proud of the students and making sure they realize all that they can accomplish as they leave here as graduates of John Hardin High School, especially being a part of the program with FFA and just the ag classes that happen during the school day. So I think everybody, this is when we receive a $45,000 grant, I can assure you we want to make sure we take every opportunity to make sure our students have every opportunity to learn all the facets that's going to make them better and more productive citizens as they leave our school district, but then we know they'll still be here in our community, right? Thank you.
What was so neat about this? This was originally a storage room. I mean, that's what it was. And when our freshman group talked about it, they were like, how about we just use that to grow? And we had an old system. This is called an NFT system. We had an old system. It was leaky. It wasn't very good. It had warped in the greenhouse because of the sunlight. So we done the first couple of harvests, and actually, there's a picture. Actually, that's when we were actually harvesting the first harvest with, and it was in its infancy stage, but man, we were so proud of that. Those students were excited about it. And then when we got the Ag Innovation Grant is when things really took off in here. So this is a brand new state-of-the-art NFT system. And one of the neat things about what we're able to do back here, my kids really, everything we do goes based on the scientific method. Everything is research-based. So when we initially looked at these systems, one of the things that everywhere we read was you got to have a mixed spectrum light, the purples, the reds, and the pinks. So that's what we loaded everything up with. Well, our lettuce did not grow well with that. And when the students, I said, okay, so why? Why isn't it growing well like that? So they just started doing trial and error, and what we found, contrary to everything you'll read, those color lights do a lot better for us. And the reasoning is something that my agri-science class gets to jump into this year. We hadn't went that far. When we finally discovered it, it was kind of too late, but we're taking another step this spring, this fall. That is their big research project, is to figure out why. So we've got these lights from seed to harvest with this system's about 4 to 5 weeks lettuce. So we can put out a lot of crop. This one averages about 90 pounds every harvest, give or take. Now this crop here, you see, is a little sporadic, but it was, we hosted a elementary STEM camp this summer, and my third graders that were in here, they seeded all that. So they did pretty good. I actually give them a lot of credit, but there's a little sporadic. But so that's kind of our main unit that we really utilize right now. This will become more of a research unit once the Fort Farm units arrive. They will be strictly just production. This will be more the, hey, if we do this, what happens? We had this monitoring system you can see up here that my students come in every day. They know the parameters of what healthy aquaponics and hydroponics look like, and they're able to come in first thing. They got a log book they use, and not only do they check it here, but they record their data. And when they can look at these numbers, they know exactly what they need to do, if the water's healthy, if the water's not healthy, and then they know what adjustments to make. So we'll play around. Most everything in here is research-based. With the Fort Farm stuff, we'll be able to be more production-based and worry more about putting product out. This unit over here, it's not on right now. We got to get a new motor for it because we burned it up because we used it so much. But this is the one the students fight over. They all want to play with this one, and I know why. But this unit was actually designed by NASA. It actually flew on like every space shuttle mission NASA ever launched. There's like 4 of these in the International Space Station, and about 4 years ago was the first time they ever released a patent on it. So there's a company out of Canada that actually purchased the patent for it. We were able to buy a unit from them, and what makes it unique is the plants actually go inside this drum. There's these little white holders. The rock wool goes in that. The plants actually slide in, and they're hanging on the inside. This drum rotates, makes one rotation every 30 minutes, and the lights are on the inside, so you have the most even light disbursement you can have. This machine actually is probably our best grower. This one's about 3 weeks, start to finish. This has become our favorite basil growing unit. We've got a lot of faculty at John Hardin that love to make pesto. I don't know why, but they usually get a lot of basil from us on this one. So this works really well. And so we do a lot of basil growing with this unit. We have a bucket system over there. We've been experimenting with different things with that. We like that system, but one of the things the students have noticed is we really got to be mindful of the light height with that. That's one of the things they researched and learned. So again, sometimes you could walk in here and it looks like we've killed every plant, but it's actually a big success because we're figuring out how not to do it and how we can do it. And so the mindset that these students have in here is very research-based. They're not afraid to fail to learn, and that's what we kind of do. So when students get back, we'll be doing some I think we're going to be experimenting with some strawberries in that one when we come back. We've got a tower system. If all the students fight for this one, all of them paper, rock, scissors to not have to deal with that one. It's an aeroponic system, which means it actually mists out water in the middle of that tube. The problem is the mist nozzles are so small, all the fertilizer solids build up, and it clogs up within about 2 weeks. So about every 2 weeks, we have to completely take that thing apart. So we're actually looking at this one. I had a senior last spring actually done a project on that one where he modified and engineered some different nozzles to make it a little bigger. But the problem we ran into, he made them too big, so we didn't have enough pressure to put out the water to hit the roots. So he's trying to figure out, he passed that experiment along so we can continue that. But that's part of it back here, the STEM part of it. We actually purchased a 3D printer where we can actually build our own fittings and couplings back here, so kids will be engineering that. So they can make repairs, because every now and then these things, they tend to wear down, the glue quits holding. So instead of just buying them now, we're just making them ourselves and just applying it. But everything's monitored. Like I said up there, we can watch. These are our aquaculture systems. These are standalone fish systems. We actually was able to get these thanks to Altec. We won the Altec Innovation Challenge last year, and this is what we done it with. These systems will be used to produce tilapia. We've got tilapia fingerlings over here, and we got full-grown tilapia in this one. One of the cool things that we never even thought about, but we've been able to do with these systems is when the wastewater gets filtered over in these white tanks, the aeroponics mineralizes the water, and we have sold fertilizer to local gardeners all summer long with this at a very cheap rate. $5 a gallon. You will not get any root rot with this stuff because the water is oxygenated, and it is some of the most high potent fertilizer you will ever use. We actually use that fertilizer in these grow beds, and the cool thing about it is everybody thinks it's really strong fertilizer. It's actually not. It's the right perfect amount, and like I said, my kids watch the monitors. When they see the ppm dip, they add a little more fertilizer to it, and they keep the plants going. In that room over there is actually our aquaponic unit. Like I said, we don't have it going right now. We don't do it until we have students. But that's taking hydroponics and aquaponic or aquaculture and combining them. That one's a lot trickier to work. My students really like that one because it's a real challenge to get all the bacteria right in it. We have to kind of soup it up so the plants will be able to take up the nutrients. But in a nutshell, the fish waste goes into the plant beds. The plant beds take up the fertilizer, clean the water, and then they return the fresh water back to the fish as clean water, and then the cycle. It's just replicating nature, but there's a lot of steps that goes on in that one, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. Our fork farm units, one of the things that we realized real quick was we're out of room in here. We actually will be expanding this lab across the hallway. We've got another room about the size of my classroom that's not only going to house our 5 fork farms units, but also we're adding a full-blown veterinary lab. So we got a vet clinic going over there too for our animal science pathway. So students will be able to do animal sciences, exams, ultrasounds, grooming, bathing, ear cleaning, teeth cleaning, you name it, exams, they're going to be able to do it in there. And along with that, we'll have our fork farm production units over there as well, working in conjunction with the research that we do in here. So it's finally all tying in, so we're excited. But this, like I said, this has grown out of the power of about 20 students saying, hey, we can make a difference. We don't have to have a lot. We don't have to have a lot of knowledge. We'll learn it as we go. But that was one of the things that group just always stood out. They weren't afraid to try new things with this. So it's evolved. We're still not where we probably totally want it. I think the next step in here is we're going to actually add another system on top of this one to make it a tiered system to kind of replicate what you're seeing in larger cities where they're actually doing this indoors like this, and they're going vertical. We can go one more layer up. We'll add another round of grow lights underneath, but again, it's all about the research and understanding, and it's all about the employability skills, the soft skills, the communication, the teamwork. Because when my students come in here, and them two will tell you, I don't really say a whole lot. At the point when they get in here, it's their baby. So they're the ones that look at that. They're the ones figure out what's going on. Now they'll check with me, and I'll kind of just keep pushing them along. They're the one that makes the production schedules. They're the ones that makes the management decisions. That's how they learn. And it kind of worries me because sometimes I don't think they even need me. I just kind of sit back, drink coffee, and watch. But it's not always great in here. Braden will tell you, we walked in here before over a weekend, and the pumps have locked up, and all the lettuce is just laid over. Got to go back, start over from scratch. But why is it laid over? They learned all about airlock with water pumps this last fall. That happens, and what we got to do to make sure that works. With these lights, you can dim them and you can brighten them up. What we found was about 75 to 50% works best. We put it up all the way to 100%. We came in here and it looked like we'd taken a torch to the top of it. So it's all about learning as we go, and I think that's the one thing my students are really good at is failure doesn't deter. They just use it as motivation, and they use it how to apply it, and they've been really good at that. So if you got any questions over this, we can show you the other room. There's not much to look at right now. It's just kind of a blank classroom. We got some of our vet science stuff going in over there right now, so you'll see a dog grooming station and a wash tub. But the fort, we kind of got it just cleaned out, so when the Fort Farms gets here, we can take advantage of it. So any questions about anything in here?
Are y'all planning to, I guess, diversify more than just lettuce? Or do you have,
Yeah.
what other plants are you planning on?
That's a good question. So with the aeroponic unit, that's a lot of strawberries. We tried with that. This is pretty much basil, but we're looking at going with a little more different ones, maybe some dill, some best herbs in this one. We've done heirloom tomatoes in that one a lot, and again, what we've struggled with that is the height of the light. We can't get it low enough to grow that kind of a crop, so we're going to switch it up and probably maybe try some strawberries with it. Now, in that grow bed in there, we have arugula, Swiss chard, dinosaur kale, peppers. We go really diverse with that one, with that grow bed, because it's more like a float bed. But with this, we kind of just stick to lettuce as our base learning unit, and then go from there. So.
And then what is your plans for the tilapia?
When the tilapia, every year when the tilapia are full grown, those are harvested, and we take those to Warm Blessings and donate them as a protein food source.